I don't think you're gonna get yourself out of anything until you truly like it has to be deep within you. Like you have to realize that you messed up or you're at your complete rock bottom. And that's what I felt.
What's up, guys? Malcolm McCassie here. I've been wanting to do this for a long time, launch a pod, because connecting with my friends, good people, and just spreading the love is such a huge part of my life. You'll see a lot of expressions come up in my brands, and those are just extensions to kind of try to put good vibes out there. And one of them was always time to breathe. It's that fresh air, that reset. Life can be challenging. And so this is episode 1, time to breathe. And we've got someone I've grown really close to, have a huge respect for. Whether you know him from action sports or not, I'm all about people. And a lot of these people happen to have some crazy talents. But I'm on with my boy, Tyler Fernengel, and we became really close. And I can't wait to dive in with you, boy. What's up, brother? Good to connect.
Sorry, every time I look at myself, I'm like trying not to smile because there's got some stitches in here. Hurts pretty good, but yeah, I'm doing good despite all this. Sure, if you've been on the internet, you've seen a couple different things. I took a little slam the other day, but other than that, doing good.
Yeah, I feel like it's like almost the best and worst time, or is there ever a perfect time? But stitches in your face. I mean, was it just 2 days? How many days ago?
Um, Saturday night, so it's been a couple of days now.
Saturday night, I see this clip. You and I have been going back and forth. You've been on this crazy journey of life, and man, I've been so proud of you and watching you truly like kind of start to just breathe and take on and kind of go, listen, I'm going to live my best life, and making a lot of changes to become that. But it's crazy how life throws these wrenches sometimes you don't expect. You were doing a trick at a park. I mean, you're one of the most talented BMX guys I've ever seen, from style to the whole combo. You obviously excelled heavily into the sport as one of the top guys, and then kind of took a little break we can jump into. But you're out there having fun doing one more take on something to grab a new angle. And dude, I see you on the ground, and it just was awful. Dude, break
Yeah,
that down real quick.
that's how it goes. I was literally just like had this same little tripod setup I have. I always just film myself and just for like little story clips or whatever. And I had done this just a messing around trick, little like toothpick bar spin in a bowl. And yeah, did the classic one more. I was like, oh, I was just waiting for my buddy to get off work. We were gonna meet up for dinner and then yeah, one more angle. Did it like 6 or 7 times before and then a classic woke up at the bottom of a bowl by myself, was just like looked down. I was like, oh, my teeth are gone. I did like all four of my front teeth. Yeah, I was super confused, but ended up could have been a lot worse. I ended up just like hitting my mouth and nose and I cracked this. I forget what this bone is called that's above your teeth right here, but that's probably the worst of it. So that's gonna take a couple months to heal. But yeah, could have been a lot worse. Thankfully, I didn't like hit my head or anywhere other than right here. So been a while, been a couple years, but
Jeez.
it was a good reminder of how quickly and how unexpectedly those things happen. Because, like I said, just something I did 10 times probably, and I was just messing around. Good reminder.
The reminders, they do hit hard, especially when you ride at your level. I mean, you're doing things that I don't think, unless you ever try to go do them, you can understand the difficulties of like kind of what you do. But I know in motocross, I broke my leg one time. I'm like, oh, let me go hit that jump one more time. And I came up and landed in a rain rut and snapped my tib fib.
Hmm.
And it was that one more. Did you actually say it, or were you just trying to go a few more? Was there actually that weird superstition of one more?
I can't remember specifically, but I do remember in my head being like, because I was like slowly moving my camera around the bowl, getting just different angles. I was literally just trying to kill time. Like, as you've seen, I posted the clip of me landing it, and there's multiple angles where I did it. So yeah, I was just moving it slowly around the bowl out of boredom, trying to get the best, see what looked the coolest. And that last one, yeah, I remember everything right up to it. I'm convinced I can remember like actually missing or like feeling my tire slip out. Because that's what happened. If you look closely in the video, it wasn't anything that I did specifically. My tire pressure was super low, and you just see the tire fold. Just went completely flat and lights out.
You know how in life, and I know we'll dive into a bunch of stuff, but you grew up racing motorcycles. I mean, you've mountain bike, BMX, and obviously excelled to the highest level of the BMX side. But you always see like people that don't do the sport always saying, "Oh, why do you keep doing it? How do you fall and why do you keep doing it?" And what we all say is anyone who loves what they do is the passion of skateboarding, of BMX. Like you didn't have to pay us to do what we love. We ended up excelling so much by doing what we love that it became a career,
Hmm.
or there was an opportunity. But how do you even explain the feeling? Because man, when you went down, you weren't, dude. I'm sorry, but I don't know where I would have been, but you weren't crying. There's no tears. My boy comes up and you're like, my grill's gone. I mean, it was obviously the nastiest of hard cement. What is the feeling? I know you kind of sound like you got slightly concussed.
Yeah, I was definitely, I mean, in that moment, even though I didn't specifically, I guess technically, yes, I hit my head. I was confused for sure. I think I kept repeating myself, but that's probably the most common thing with hitting your head. People just repeat themselves. I was just thinking, damn, I can't believe that happened. It happened really fast, and I was just super bummed with myself, even though I had no control over that. And that's just, I know that's part of the game, and that's what we do.
When these things do happen, though, I found in my life, and I'm curious how you feel about this. I mean, we'll go deep into a bunch of stuff because we bonded a lot, not even on the actual bicycles or sport, just on human beings, growth, life, perspective, ups and downs, trials and tribulations. But when you look at this now, in hindsight, it happened. Like you said, your attitude's insane, by the way.
Hmm.
I kind of did a post on your amazing, crazy engagement that everyone jumped in from critics to fans and people that just love you. But I was like, man, you're such a good dude. Like, no one normally knows what's behind the scenes and truly understands that, they see social and they think that someone's living some life that they don't truly even, that's this fairy tale or something that's like, unattainable or unrealistic or something. But if you had to take a perspective now as we're talking, it's only been a few days, but it's
Hmm.
like when something like this happens, it's like everyone says it's not the successes, it's the failures in life, but it's like this isn't a failure. This is just like, okay, what can I gain from this? Like you said, anything in life can happen at any given time.
Yeah, I mean, it's so hard to say. It's just what I love doing. Like I wrote in my post, I'm very aware of the consequences and that like this is what helps me keep my sanity. Like riding, I ride so hard every day, and like I said, I'm not gonna stop pushing. I'm gonna ride just like this never happened. And I'm aware, like this helps me keep my sanity, but at the same time, I'm aware that it can, as gnarly as it sounds, can literally strip me of life in an instant. And we've seen that with many of our close friends, and maybe not necessarily, losing your life, but consequences that are just life changing. And I'm super aware of that. So I don't know. I think for me, the most important thing is to just like jump right back into riding and like not let it scare me, because that's what happens with, well, that's probably what separates people like us and makes us different, is that we don't, want, people usually get hurt once and like, okay, never again. That's not worth it. But for me, it's more than worth it. It's what keeps me going. It's what keeps me happy. And I have to push myself like that because I'm so in my head. I'm sure all the head injuries do play a part into that. I deal with a lot of anxiety, and even like I started to get crazy panic attacks over the years, and something that I'm working through all the time. But that's like sort of the irony in it, is that I like have to ride to keep me in that good headspace, and I have to keep pushing, and I don't like to chill, but also riding and the injuries probably played a part in that. So I'm just trying to find that balance of continuing to do what I do because I feel I need to, but also I just love it so much. I'll never stop.
It's such a respect for any athlete or anyone that takes it to a certain level. But if you look at you or Dennis Anderson or any of the boys, like, rest in peace to the ones that it's so heavy that they're gone. Some of the first to come to mind, of course, close friends of yours and mine, Pat Casey. The inspiration will live with us forever, but it's like you never know when these accidents or these incidents, but you always look at well, why do you do it then? Because I'd rather going out doing something I love than sit back, doing nothing.
Yeah, as cliche as that sounds, that is honestly the truth. This sucks. I will not lie to you going through what I am right now, but it could be way worse, and it's totally worth it to me. The last couple months of like riding, I've been feeling better. physically, mentally, emotionally, like that's worth it for me. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go through this. This is gonna suck. It's gonna take a couple months to heal my teeth and get new teeth. And obviously, maybe there's a little bit of confidence that is diminished from that fall, and I'm gonna think twice about certain things. But like, that just it doesn't phase me. It's like it's so worth it. I'm just such a happy person when I get to push and do what I love. I think that's just what the world is missing a lot as well. Is like people don't have their thing. I have a thing. It gets me through the toughest times and also puts me through the toughest times. So it's kind of a messed up marriage that I have.
No, that dude,
Till death do us part, as they say, through thick and
I
thin.
mean, yeah, Martin Lawrence, a comedian, one time, and he just said, "I'm gonna ride this life till the wheels fall off,"
Mm-hmm.
and especially if wheels kind of raised you and you have that kind of that connection. But it's insane watching how it went down, and obviously the pain. I can't imagine like how you're sitting right now. At the end of the day, like you've got stitches all over. It's just a few days ago. I watched you post it, and I know it blew up and it went viral. And there's so many touchy subjects on life. And I've been in, motorcycles, BMX. I've been to every X Games, Gravity Games, Dew Tour since the beginning. I've seen a million helmets, a million no helmets. But the way I saw that crash is most guys in that field aren't wearing full faces anyways. They're wearing the shells,
Yeah,
and it's like the way you hit. I was watching, and it's not like I'm pro helmet, I'm pro
I
freedom,
am
I'm
as
pro like,
well. Yeah,
yeah, and well said, by the way. The way we talked about it prior, but you worded it so great. But I was working with you on as friendships on the backside, just talking about life and trying to help out. And I know where you're at right now, but most of the world doesn't know exactly where you're at. But you just talked about that thing. And so many people don't have a thing, so their thing is not fulfilling themselves, which then makes everyone else kind of the attack because it maybe fills that void of them not going after it.
hmm
But I think it's really important. You just talked about that thing, and it really hit me because I'm going, man, like if you don't find something you connect with that brings you alive into life, and I know that's your BMX bike, and also your crew. Look at the friendships in the community. That thing is so much bigger. It's not just wheels. It's not just bars. It's this mechanism that allows you to push yourself, but also I see you with your crew, and everything. So talk about, I mean, that's a big thing, like finding your thing and just what like the fulfillment that comes with that.
yeah. Well, I would say that's everything to me. Like right now, especially all the ups and downs I've had over the years, just having good homies and family and friends around me, and really the whole industry is family. And I think you can notice that in the comment section. Well, like maybe one post compared to the other, because the first one of the crash went viral. It's got over 5 million views now, over 4,000 comments, and it's people who first off don't know me, don't know BMX, don't really know anything. They think I'm just a dumb kid who is begging people for money because I don't know. All if you go through it, you'll know what I'm saying. But then I made another post the next day of me landing it and explaining my view and perspective on it, basically saying I'm not advocating not to wear a helmet, and I'm also not saying that you need to wear one. I think it's a personal opinion and you just do what you're comfortable with. Point of that was that all those comments, there's a couple hundred comments in there, and those are all true, I could just say family members, pretty much, like they get it. There's no hate, it's just like, yeah, it is what it is. We know this game that we play, it's not safe. There's nothing safe about it. Helmet or not, we could sit here and argue back and forth till we're blue in the face about why I should have had it, or I could explain why it didn't matter. But at the end of the day, obviously helmets are important, and I'm not going to argue that fact. Sorry, I got a little off topic there. There's so many
No, no.
so many things I want to say about it, because it's been a never-ending thing for the last 3 days of just going back and forth and trying to explain myself. I just feel I'm a grown man and I make my decisions, and like unfortunately, it would be cool to kind of to change the stigma around helmets. And it's not even about the cool factor. I mean, of course, I'd be lying if I said there isn't a part of that. I don't deny or lie about any of those things, but they are a bit I'm probably gonna get shit for this, but they're a bit uncomfortable, and like it kind of makes me ride differently. This is a weird argument to have that somebody probably would not understand whatsoever, but I swear when I put a helmet on, I'm more prone to hitting my head. It's just how I feel. Like, because I think maybe I'm like, screw it, helmet. I can go even crazier and I don't even think twice about what I'm trying. Same reason I don't wear knee pads or elbow pads or ankle guards. I wear nothing. I used to wear that stuff, and I feel like I used to get hurt a lot more, and I would be thinking about the injuries itself, like almost premeditating them. Now, I mean, the way I've rode the last probably 10 years, it's more of just like a lifestyle. My bike is a part of my outfit, in a weird way. It's like streetwear. My bike is a part of that kit, and I just unfortunately don't put a helmet on and wrap my ankles and wrists up and put a mouth guard in and pay the price sometimes. But I do think all you kids should wear a helmet, as well as myself. I'm gonna start
It's,
wearing one. I promise.
no,
I'm gonna wear one sometimes for sure.
well, it sounds like we might need to go into some R&D to find that helmet that just kind of gives you that right touch, that right feel, and that that protection, but
Yeah,
does the whole nine.
that's what I'm saying. No, like I don't ever want anybody to think that I'm even remotely anti-helmet, because that is the furthest thing from the truth. I genuinely don't own a helmet. I The last helmet I had was a Red Bull helmet. I obviously don't ride for them anymore, and it's something yeah, I would like to try out a few helmets. Of any helmet companies out there interested in seeing which ones fit me best, I'm interested, and I think it's something that I should be wearing more often. At the very least, riding bowls and stuff that I don't normally ride that much. Don't really want to wake up at the bottom of a bowl many more times. So be smart.
As your homie, I don't want to see you at the bottom of that bowl. When I
Yeah.
was sitting there, we were chatting before that, and all of a sudden I look and I see you, and I couldn't even fathom the pain, the moment, everything that went down. And I kind of give you a little bit of crap though, because my boy's still rocking his beanie, looking all sexy, like you got.
This was my helmet. This is the exact helmet I was wearing. I'm convinced it did some saving. This is a pretty thick pad right here, dude. You don't see anything wrong with this part of my face. But yeah, we
Yeah,
need to
just
get a nice little Mended logo on a beanie, because that's my Steve's for sure.
I love how you were finding humor amongst the pain and everything that went through. But you're saying how you got the Botox lips.
Oh yeah, Kim K special for sure. But despite how bad it was, and like it could have been much worse, so I don't need to sit around and, like, I don't know, maybe it's my coping mechanism, but I like to make jokes about it. You've probably seen me doing a bit of trolling on the internet, all in good fun though. I'm getting ripped apart, people telling me I deserve what happened and whatnot. So I'm just trolling the trolls and making the most of it. Because really, like, I've said it over and over, just you can't control what happens. It's bound to happen to some extent if this is what I'm going to keep doing and pushing, at which I plan to do. I'm not riding like I'm, 60 years old. I want to push it as hard as I can until I can't. I don't want to keep getting hurt. That obviously sucks, but that's just how I am. That's how I'm wired. I want to ride hard until I can't anymore. So this is going to happen. I don't need sympathy or pity. It's just, and I think that's what people thought. People, non-BMX riders think I was making a post. If you know me, that's the last thing I want and need. I don't care. I'd make jokes about it. I'm not down there complaining. As soon as it happened, the first thing I said, I was like, oh, spitting teeth. I'm like, that hasn't happened in a few years. Dang. Just part of it. So
I think just being vulnerable and just how you're opening up is so huge. And like, if everyone could do more of this, critics are going to come in no matter what you do. I'm friends with a couple dads and their kids, and they're like the sickest kids at bike life, which we know like the dirt bikes on the
yeah.
streets, has always been controversial, like Meek Mill, Chino, illegal bikes, stolen bikes, and whatever. But it's such an insane culture and community, and they Baby D Blocks and One Way Little Man, their dads are just insane dads, insane humans. They have a mix of kids. But they asked me the other day, and we were talking with Travis Pastrana about this. They said, how do you combat all the hate? Like, you're
Yeah.
a horrible dad. You're going to kill your kid. You're all the really, it gets really dark. And they were asking because to me, they're actually the best dads. Their kids like you on a bike. Dude, there's a serious gift. Not everyone might understand that. Go play your, stick and ball sports or whatever. But it's like, man, when you have a gift and you find those wheels, you find that energy. It's like, so I think it's insane that you're opening up about this, but the way you addressed it, and we'll jump into the GoFundMe and stuff like that and walk through that stuff. And I know you, and we've been talking, but it's like, it's so easy to judge. But every time I've ever met somebody, I said, and they're in a grumpy mood or they're mean or they're negative, the first reaction would be to point or to be a critic. But I always go, what else could that mean? What else is going on in their life? So you sharing this stuff, I think, is insane. Because to me, growing close with you as brotherhood and stuff we've been doing is like going, man, this is a good dude. This dude's pushing through because life is challenging. Time to breathe couldn't be a better first, podcast, because I've been talking about it with my boy Steven and crew for probably a year and something now.
Hmm.
And but because I really feel like just the value it could bring to people, I wish I had something to listen to like this and like
Yeah.
walk through and kind of, because you're like not holding anything back, right? I mean, we're talking about
Uh-uh.
doctor bills and just talking about life, right?
Yeah. No, I think yeah, I'm also thank you guys for having me on for this first episode. I'm super excited and yeah, it is a time to breathe. Definitely in so many different ways. Trying to catch my breath after that fall, trying to breathe through the ups and downs of life and money and family and it's just life in general is just freaking tough, man. And a reminder to breathe, it's so important. Just need
Yeah.
sometimes we need a reminder to breathe, and that's been one of the biggest things for me with if you followed me, you know that this isn't my first injury. I've been had some of the gnarliest falls in the entire industry, and I think anybody would, agree with me on that. So I've had a lot of mental issues and health issues, and learning to meditate and take time to physically, consciously focus on breathing has been one of the game changers and groundbreaking things for me. So I think it's cool to be a part of a team that is promoting that something, that I think it's a gift that we kind of forget. It's just a unconscious thing we do, but when you can consciously do it and you can just change your whole life, it's transforming. Breathing is transforming when you do it the right way. So
Yeah. Are you? No, no. I mean, I know there's so much depth. I kind of feel like I could give a quick synopsis on like from an outsider on my feelings on just like you and a little bit of the journey.
hmm.
But if you're open to it, I think it'd be cool to really kind of like touch on some key points, because you and I talk deep on life, on mental health, on family, on
Hmm.
finances, on any type of addictions and things like that. And I think why I, am really inspired by you is not everyone is willing to dig deep, and it does
Yeah.
come with being an athlete. But you keep digging deep, and even like had that talk a little while ago, and you're all, Malcolm, I didn't want to tell you because you've been kind of there as a friend, but I kind of fell off from. And I said,
Hmm.
dude, part of life is we're gonna fall off, but friendship is those that are there for you when you're down, not when you're always up.
Yeah.
And I think where my whole heart's going is like, man, you jumped into this industry, and like I said, you could chat. There's so much depth to it, but I was there for the Gootlers and all these guys, the Dave Maras, and so many guys that had peaked in the sport. But you were one of the guys from top, rock star Red Bull athlete to BMX guy that literally was insane. You had some big falls, but you climbed to the top. And sometimes at a young age with the top comes a lot of opportunity and a lot of,
Yeah.
life and growing. So I mean, obviously in that phase, you went through being on the top, and then the celebration side, which everybody does. I mean, I don't know anyone who doesn't
Hmm.
really celebrate at some pretty great levels, but you kind of got too into the partying, too into like certain things, and suddenly it started chipping away at this person you were, and it kind of the sponsorships and everything kind of faded away. Is that fair to say? And that kind
Yeah.
of
Yeah. No, we can get into it. I'm an open book, and uh, I think a lot of people aren't very open because we all obviously have our struggles, but the way I see it is I can't change, the decisions I made. I can only grow from them and try not to make the same mistakes. But I think it's cool because I obviously have a lot of young kids and even people older than me that look up to me that I speak to often. And a lot of people just aren't open about it. And I can use my stuff that I've been through to help people maybe not avoid it, but find a way to kind of channel through it. You use different tools to channel that energy. But yeah, I don't want to get like too in depth on everything. I mean, I can, but I pretty much yeah, I was a pretty classic. Started partying pretty young. I was making six figures as a 20-year-old kid, and um, it all starts out pretty harmless and fun, right? It's like maybe when you're just overseas and it's like you're at a contest and that we're all doing it together, it's great. So I'd be lying if I said it's not some of the most fun times of my life. But then, slowly start, oh, I'm waking up hungover, and then uh, not filming as much as I want. And then it's just a slow progression. And it doesn't happen to everybody, but for me, it got really bad. And then it got to, I'm now, when I'm injured, instead of trying to get better, I'm just drinking the whole time. And then, I was in a relationship that was pretty unhealthy. And we were kind of influencing each other and just going out. And at this time, I'm still getting paid, so I don't have to be like trying to figure out money. I'm just using this money now to go out and be reckless and just being just the bad thing about me is that the same crazy riding mentality I have that transferred into anything I did. So if that was drinking, I'm jumping off roofs essentially when I'm drinking too, and doing the biggest gaps I can. And then I've got a Harley, and I'm getting crazy on my Harley. And anybody who's ever been in a car with me, I was doing crazy stuff in that too. But yeah, it kind of just eventually then I lost sponsors, and then that spiral starts happening, and it's a pretty all too familiar story in so many different industries and sports, and I let it spiral completely out of control. And then alcohol is a depressant, and I'm depressed, so I'm drinking more, and then I lose all my sponsors, and then I'm like, I just don't know what to do with my life. And yeah, I mean, long story short, it just was a pretty classic, turned into a young alcoholic, and I was just there was just so many ways. It all kind of started with just self-medicating. That all the injuries, I started to develop crazy anxiety. I should have been seeing a therapist, but instead I was seeing the bottle. So, and just using that to self-medicate. And I have no shame in explaining this to everybody because that's the truth. And that's how gnarly it got. I was drinking in the morning sometimes and just like doing whatever I could to get out of my head instead of um, facing things like I should. Like the way that I ride, I'm not scared. I face things head on. So it took a long time to stop hiding and drinking it away and learning to just like face this head on and like, handle it the same way I would handle jumping down 25 stairs on my bike. Just you got to kind of dive in head first and just face the challenges and seek help too. That's a very important thing, is reach out, family, friends. If you don't have family or anybody close that you think you can reach out to, I've always said, I've been public about this, reach out to me. That's why I'm open about it, because at least I'm here, and I will give my best advice I can, because I've been through it. So
Dude, I love you, dude. You're such a stand-up dude. Like
thank
this
you.
is fun because we bond so much. But I always say this: it's like, how can you help people? And it's like the reason why so many people can relate and why this is so huge is because there's millions of people that are scared to talk that have gone through the same thing, and you've seen it, unfortunately. So many people with mental health, and like you said, yours, you could have kept derailing, but
Yeah.
once again, you had something with that bike mentality that allowed you to climb that same kind of addiction to dedication to whatever it was, to recognize enough to kind of pull away. So the perspective that you gain from this, I can't even imagine, because we're just warming up on our friendship and stuff like that, like of just like there's so much depth even to myself, right? I'm by the way, I was equally like you,
Hmm.
in so many ways. I was in the scene, traveling, No Fear, Spy, Alpine Stars, Ethica, and when you have budgets and you're traveling all over with your boys from Rockstar, Monster, Red Bull,
Hmm.
and all the companies, you think it's a normal thing, but you don't realize
Yeah.
how much it's become your way of life, and it's just so. But I think man, it's insane to like, it's insane to hear it from anybody. I think you have a bunch of friends, and it's like, but right now hearing it from you, and I know you're close friends. I was gonna say, what are a couple things that are like huge in the middle of that? Because one is, I get inspiration from you, watching you ride, watching you push, and we'll keep breaking. I'm excited to keep diving in and chipping away at these little things, because when I say you're remarkable, and I love all this inspiration from you, it's not one thing; it's a culmination of so many.
Yeah.
But from pushing through, like, who are the couple of friends? I know you got like Dennis and a few guys, but it feels like you said, when you have BMX and if you have motocross, skateboarding, there is something to be said about family and community.
Yeah.
Like, what really helped you kind of get, I know it's always a work in progress, but that light to kind of slowly dig your way out to get back to who you really,
Hmm.
God intended you to be.
Man, that could go so many different ways, and I'm just trying to give my most honest answer here. And there's so many people I could thank. Obviously, you being like, we've grown so close over the last few months. Uh, I don't want to leave any names out. I feel bad if I do.
Well, don't, I mean, let's not worry about all the names because I think they know.
For sure.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, the thing I can honestly say that I don't think you're gonna get yourself out of anything until you truly like it has to be deep within you. Like you have to realize that you've messed up and like or you're at your complete rock bottom. And that's what I felt. I had been sober for quite a long time and then recently a few months ago, like I told you, I just what happened? I disappeared for a month. I was gone. You didn't hear from me. MIA. What was I doing? I was all depressed sitting at a bar by myself, fell off the wagon completely. And everybody around me who could see me was like, "What are you doing, dude? Like, this doesn't work for you. You've done this time and time again." And thankfully, like no matter my point is that no matter what anybody said or how they felt about me, it wasn't gonna matter until I was sitting there and I literally was like, "This sucks. Like, I hate this. I hate myself right now. I know this doesn't work. I just had lost multiple friends to taking their own life. That's kind of was like the catalyst that sent me back into drinking. And I was like, screw this, dude. I don't want to be like them. I don't want to end up like them. And I know they wouldn't want me to be doing this either. And like literally that's my point is like it has to be you. I was like, this is it. I'm done. I had went and shaved my head off. Like I did everything I could to change in that moment, even when it came to like physical looks. I was like, I'm done. No more drinking. I got to get back on it. I know what helps me. That's my bike. Cutting my hair, changing my look. Let's go. And and then yeah, just having you and my parents. Obviously, I put them through so much, with all the ups and downs and the injuries and the drinking and what just everything. So I wouldn't be where I'm at without them and the close people in my life. So I'm just really grateful that the people who stuck by my side and the ones who stick by my side through the low points, because it gets very clear who you can really call family when the people only show up when you're doing good. And there's quite a few people that I know now that kind of showed that side of them, and it is what it is. I get it. Not everybody wants to be around somebody who's a burden and a mess and drinking and all that, but I think hard times kind of show true colors for yourself and for other people. So
Yeah,
yeah,
no, and I think you've shared so many names with me, and I know there's a whole roster of people that literally
yeah,
reach out, and I think you and I talk about believing. Like that's my whole thing is like I said, I've only known you X amount of months, but
hmm,
like we dove right in, like the brotherhood goes way back, but it's like I'm more intrigued by the goodness I see, and but also if it wasn't for you trying to make changes, right? Like
hmm,
trying to adapt, not being perfect, just trying to kind of take all this perspective, even this crash, this nasty fall you just had, and kind of keep learning from it. And I also know you always share like, dude, it's an unselfish big picture you have. You want to help
hmm,
people. You're hurt by your friends and even my friends that in life that taken their lives too early and wish
hmm,
we could have been there and understood a little more and so much stuff. But that's where I like I said, I think that's where the bond and you know, every name I always tell you, I always go down is like
yeah,
everything I come up with is normally like a feeling in my heart how I could use that and hopefully it could be like some sort of bridge to help someone
yeah,
connect to get them through what they're going through. But all you keep telling me all the time is, Malcolm, I don't care whatever I need to do. What can we do? I'm here to help. Let's build to
hmm,
help with mental health and mental wellness and stuff. And it's so huge. But even like you said, you open up your number, you're very transparent, very vulnerable, and much like, well, I'm so pumped to be on this just talking with you right now and having
yeah,
fun and engaging because it's man it's almost selfishly helps me because we all want to be the better version of ourselves and like in the end we did, right? Live this best life.
Hmm.
But it's like if we don't start now and start chipping away at it, and I think I've watched you, and it's like I said, you went from the career, went from this thing, went through the hardships, but then I watched the climb. And from a financial standpoint, like I said, you lost all your sponsors. You've always been responsible from what I've seen. You got jobs and did whatever you
Nope.
could to. No?
We
Oh,
can tell
okay.
you what, I'm no, I'm just being honest as far as being responsible when it comes to, like I said, I had really good money and I could have been made that money last, but that's a part of my story. It's a part of my another chapter in my book that I got to go through and learn myself. So when I do make money again, I'm financially responsible and I know what to do with it, and I can help the Groms coming up who I know this kid's, you're about to blow up, you're gonna make a lot of money, you know, don't do this, don't go buy the brand new BMW, don't go get the Mercedes because it's cool, because you never know what can happen. Like I didn't expect to be getting a spine surgery at 20 years old. That was kind of the start of all my injuries, and then that led into drinking. And life is just so unpredictable. So I just think it's really cool that I got to have it all and lose it all. It excites me
Yeah.
because I know I'm getting maybe not the same story. You know, probably never going to ride for Red Bull or Vans or whatever the case may be. But I'm doing it again. I'm doing it my way. I'm doing it with gratitude and understanding, and just I've learned. I get to do this. It's just so exciting. There's no um, guilt or regret or sadness or anger towards anybody in the industry. I understand that I played my cards, you know, like what everything that happened, I'm just super grateful for, and I get to try it again and do it in a super cool, unique way. And yeah, do it with you and everybody else around me, and just it's just exciting. I'm just actually very excited for once. And it took a really long time because I was very depressed and I had my own dark, nasty thoughts that feel like you'll never get out of. But with a bit of hard work and just like being optimistic and having faith in whether that's religion or uh, like me, I feel like my bike is my church most of the time. Whatever it is, you know, just have faith in what you do and trust the process, and things do get better. It's very slow most of the time, but it gets better.
Dude, you just nailed it. Like patience. We always talk about that, right? It's like patience
Patience
seems.
and surrender.
Yeah.
Surrendering is that's been my, you asked me what a mantra that I had, and that's definitely my mantra, just surrender. Because there's only so much you can do, right? We can try and force these things and make everything happen. And yeah, like that's good. You need to work hard and try and make things happen because nothing's gonna happen. You're just sitting around. But there's only so much you can control, and I tried to control everything for a long time, and it only seemed to get worse. And when you finally surrender to God's plan, or you know whatever the plan the universe has for you, is when things kind of I feel like start to align, and you're just going with the flow, and then before you know it, you're back on top in some way.
Yeah. No, man, it's super inspiring. We always talk, and I'm very transparent too. It's like I think you need some sort of guardrails in life because it's so easy to derail on this superficial kind of, the things that get thrown at you, whether it's success or the bottle or anything. It's so easy to lean versus kind of really diving into your true self. But for me, like the Bible is like my business plan,
Hmm.
and but it's like so many people have stories and understand. I know you went to church, as a
Hmm.
kid, and you've been through everything, but I think it's about everyone's personal relationship. You mentioned universe or whatever. I just want to see people happy. I just want to see
Yeah.
people, but if I see you not living your best life and you're going, wow, Malcolm, why is your family life good? Why this kid, your work, why are all these things kind of working? And I truly believe that until you recognize who you want to be and position yourself with some sort of foundation, for me, it's the Bible and it's my faith and it's God. But you're saying it very well, but I say to each their own, but to each their own if they're happy on their throne, kind of in a sense, like
Hmm.
where you're at and where you're going. But I think we're all on the mend and we're all trying to find and go through these things. Like, why did this fall happen? Which is,
Hmm.
but you're okay. But it's like, I think there's so much your attitude coming out of even just this nasty faceplant, and knowing you're on
Hmm.
this thing with a list with stitches, the whole nine. It's like,
Yeah.
geez, it's like, it's a testament to you, and just like, there's something to be said about action sports athletes. It's just
Yeah.
like there's a certain mindset, but I just think the inspiration of people having, like you said, a connection, someone they can resonate with or lean on. I think so many people feel alone, and they
Mm.
don't feel like they have anyone they can talk to. And I've been there, like dude, I've cried through traveling when I was younger and I was broke and like that, at no fear. And they said, go make it happen. I'm taking care of the biggest athletes in the world, making maybe $24,000 a year. And my credit card maxed out at 500, and I needed, to go on a trip, a weekend trip to the races or whatever, to bring the gear to McGrath and all these big guys. And I'm like hitchhiking on the road, like trying to find places to stay. Didn't know anybody at the time. I'm like, early 20s or whatever. And it was like,
Yeah.
I just remember going, dude, what am I doing? You know?
Trusting in the process.
Yeah.
You knew what you were doing, even though if you didn't, maybe you didn't realize what you were doing, but you knew what was happening. Look at you now.
Well, hey, let's manifest the good too. When you talked a second ago about Red Bull Rockstar,
Yeah.
I'm so pumped to have you on the Mended team and the Mended family,
Hmm.
because I'm gonna go crazy, because I go crazy for my people, and it's
Hmm.
because I just want to see my people win. I believe, and my people just means good-hearted, just integrity,
Hmm.
loyal people. And you happen to be one of the most talented dudes I know. I can't imagine, with most of the people that I know that run all of these different companies, like you would be my top pick to want to bring on across the board, not from a selling point, from a true raw story of trial and tribulation and continuing to climb. Like you said, you've been sober. Yeah, you fell off for a minute. You caught yourself real quick, which is great, which is just another testament to you and everything you've been through, man. So I'm like, I can't wait to see what we do with the sponsors and everything,
Yeah.
because you deserve it all. And I can't wait to put more of my personal money
Starting here,
into,
baby. Let's
oh,
go.
dude. We're working on your signature stuff, because you're
Oh
super steezy,
yeah.
bro. You got a crazy sway about you.
We'll get there. We'll get there. But yeah, I'm super excited too. It's gonna be good. I think you need the trials and tribulations. It's what makes a great artist and a great creative. Um, you don't really, I mean, look at rest in peace, all these people I'm gonna name, but look at, Jimi Hendrix, Jim Morrison, all these insane artists and musicians. They're all a bit crazy and went to their, not saying I want to be gone too soon, but I just think you need a story. You need to go through the thick of it to like be strong and have the wisdom and the courage and just being able to help the next generation. Like you can only say so much unless you've gone through it. So that's why I just keep saying I'm so grateful for all the bad, I guess shouldn't say bad things, just the lessons that I've had to go through, despite them having long-term effects, some of the things, and obviously the drinking's not good for the brain, and the head injuries aren't good for the brain, and it is what it is. I roll with the punches. I think that's what I'm good at, and I'm just excited to do this thing called life and do it with you, and hopefully I'd be stoked to work with some cool brands that I rock with in the future because I'm not going anywhere. I'll tell you that right now. I'm here to ride and do my thing and inspire others and show people that you can have it all and lose it and get it all back. I have no doubt in my mind that that's where we're headed. So yeah.
How would, like, with with this platform you have and everything, and just obviously, how do you see, like, how could we have fun in this conversation, and just like, I know we have them on and off, same convos, but it's like, what can we do to take the sport of BMX? I see you when you're riding, and I see the kids in the back, and you're lighting up these kids. Whether and I know you go out of your way to talk to them and always,
Hmm.
high five and stoke out the kids, but like, what is this next chapter? We've seen the X Games go high and low, but the sport, there's so much innovation. What I'm loving about what you're doing right now, it's like a lot of, like we talked about, Kevin Corrales and
Hmm.
just OGs that just have that rad little style. And that, Dennis Anderson's got his. I mean, there's a mix. I can go
Yeah.
on a list. I love so many guys, but how do we have fun and utilize you and utilize this platform? Like, is there anything sitting on your heart that we could kind of do differently, or kind of have fun to kind
Man,
of like to see make happen?
that's a really good question. I mean, I think BMX is in a kind of a weird state. right now. I don't know. I might not be the best person to explain that or talk about it just because I haven't been paid or sponsored by anybody in a few years, and but I don't know. I think it's just social media, man. It's crazy. Everybody's so glued to their phone, so we just got to find new, unique ways to. That's where it's going, where it's headed. We're here. It's not going anywhere. You know, I think the video parts are kind of seem to be falling, getting kind of left in the back. We got short attention spans, so I don't know. I could sit here and say we just got to make a bunch of TikToks, but I don't want to do that.
Nailed it.
Yeah, right. You want to go viral, make some TikToks. But no, I don't know. I would like to. I think like events are super cool. Like Trey Jones does the Swamp Fest that I'll be going to middle of February. Stuff like that is so unique and that's getting people from around the world together, and that's to me that's core BMX at its finest, and it's also bringing in money to the sport and just getting people stoked on it because it's not just like your typical X Games. Nothing against X Games, I think it's awesome. But yeah, it's just getting people stoked. So maybe more stuff like that. I would love to be in a position financially someday to put on an event or even just some jams and get kids a bunch of mended gear. And maybe someday I can start you and I have, I mean, I guess we haven't mentioned this publicly, but thought about maybe doing a short run of frames, like kind of unbranded frames that are just, mended collab or something. There's just there's millions of possibilities. And I think just, we just got to keep being creative with it and sharing the love, spreading the message. And yeah, we're in a weird, like I said, I think it's just a weird time. There's no like straight line of what you should be doing or how you get to be a pro bike rider. I can't really tell kids how that happens because I don't even know how that happens anymore. It's not like you end up in a magazine and get a cover and then you get a signature frame. All that stuff's pretty rare now. So TikTok.
Yeah. Well, is it interesting that like you would give anything to not have busted your face, of course, but it's so interesting that critics, viral, whatever, 5 million. I mean, just the other day.
Yeah, thanks, haters. Like straight. I mean, honestly, it's like,
Yo, bust your face, yo.
yeah, like all the hate and whatnot, but like, I mean, honestly, it just brought more traction to my page. All my other videos of me not crashing have a couple extra 100,000 views now, and you gain followers from it. It's just a weird time. Like I said, as bad as that was and hit my face, I'm okay. I'm alive. I'm gonna get new teeth. And yeah. Also, I mean that's something I do want to bring up real quick is the GoFundMe thing because I got a lot of hate on that. Which number one, I didn't start the GoFundMe. I got out of the hospital and it was already created. A really good friend of mine, Jen, created it for me, so thank you to her. But yeah, it's like I've been getting these crazy messages saying I should know I'm a grown man riding without insurance. Now I'm out here begging for money. Well, I'm not begging. You don't have to. You're not being forced to send me anything. And I'm very, very grateful for every dollar or share or whatever anybody's done. And yeah, you don't have to donate. It's there for if you want to. So I just wanted to clear that and say I'm very thankful for anybody who's helped because you're gonna help get these things back.
Oh my! I do want to ask after we talk, just top on this GoFundMe thing, but I want to figure out like what is even the process when you got 4 teeth. I'll talk about that in a second, but I do want to say is like you've been going through a process. You were living in a van. You've made some decisions to do some certain things, right? And in a good way. But I've watched you and I back it all because dude, you're not giving up. You're testing certain things and figuring it out and climbing along the way. But I mean, a couple months back, I gave you a few $100 and just out of nowhere, and you're like, dude, thank you. My dog can eat. Like, you're piecing it together, but you're the least lazy person I know. Like we're talking every day, you're grinding. We're talking, you've got sponsors that do believe in you, that are rad, that are helping out in little ways. And, and I think just friends and people that believe in you, but the GoFundMe, I got a buddy, Matt Kinney. I told you a year ago at Christmas, was building a horse kind of little corral to caretake his buddy's horses. This guy's the most nice guy, dad of, two boys, two girls. And literally he was sawing through and it broke, and he went straight down, and he tried to grab himself on the ladder. So it pulled his arms back. He broke C1, 2, 3, what was it? And basically all the way down to T, like the 7 vertebrae smashed. Whoa. He's lying down. This is a go-getter. This guy will give you the shirt off his back. He will help you. He reminds me a lot of you. You're always going out of your way to help, and you get such a positive attitude. But the doctor, he ended up not moving, luckily. He's a stubborn guy that normally would have tried to get up.
Yeah.
He crushed them. I'm not talking lightly. I'll share the x-rays. And my point is, we did a GoFundMe. The surgeon, who's done over 10,000 neck surgeries, said, I don't know how you're not quadriplegic or dead. And this guy just prayed with his family. He was in between insurance because he was switching to the Christian insurance. So to your point, dude, life is like, you don't know when you're going to get hurt. And sometimes you're in a transitional period, which is totally normal. But I created the GoFundMe for him, and people were so awesome. I mean, I think we got $60,000. His bills are $300,000 to $400,000. Did anyone have to? No.
Yeah.
But the guy has been praying and helping out people along the way continuously. It's now 1 year later, and he had a miraculous thing where they removed the built-in neck brace out, which the doctor said he's done 4 in 10,000 surgeries. And so the GoFundMe, people have no idea how much that helped. And what I'm leading to with you is, I know everything you're pushing through in the most positive of ways. Yeah. And this GoFundMe couldn't go to a better guy. And you're not asking, you didn't create it. I get it. I would have created it for you if they didn't, just because I think GoFundMe is such an amazing thing. But, don't judge a book by its cover, man. There's so much more to you. There's so much more to everything happening. And I would give, I will continue to, just because you're my boy, but it's like, dude, I know where you're going, and I believe so much in the impact you're going to make. But I'm glad you touched on the GoFundMe, because like, it's just so quick to jump on certain things, but whether you did it or didn't do it, man, I don't think a GoFundMe could happen to a better person. I couldn't give my own dollar that I work hard for, and my family wouldn't support me anymore than giving it to someone like you. So I'm just glad you're okay. All the other stuff's other conversations, but the reality is, I want to see people win. I want to see people healthy. People are going through heavy stuff in life. And it's like, if we come together and we actually become good with ourselves, the only natural thing is love thy neighbor, right? It's like, dude, like, okay, you don't have to donate, you don't have to do anything, but man, it doesn't hurt to just high five, throw an arm out, send a prayer, do something.
For sure. I definitely realize. I think it's just the internet, though.
Yeah.
Bandwagon. It's like fun. Like, once things start going viral like that, it's like a trend. Who can say the most messed up comment and get the most likes? Like, let's just make the worst joke we can about this dude who's snoring on the ground. So that's why I make jokes out of it too. I take it lightheartedly and with a grain of salt. And to all the real ones who support me and whoever donated money or shared, like, once again, thank you very much. And it's going to a good cause. I just got a little defensive when people were telling me I'm a thief and I'm robbing people, and I'm like, there'd be one thing if I made some little post saying, oh, I need money for some surgery, when there's no, I showed you exactly what happened. There's no hiding it. Yes, I wasn't wearing a helmet, dumb decision, but I'm not hiding anything.
Hey, you faked those teeth pretty well though in that bag.
For sure, dude.
Hey, well, I got a question. What do you do? Is it dentures, or is it those teeth back in? What is it? What is the surgery? I know we're talking about Mexico, and who's the other guy that might help out?
So they were going to originally in the hospital. They were gonna, because the 2 in the front came out at the root, and they were gonna try and put them in, but they were broken anyways. And he was like, "Yeah, they may or may not stick or reconnect, whatever the terminology is." But the problem is that the bone above the gums or behind the gums is broken in like 3 different places. So that has to heal first, and then I can get like implants in the bone. I think it would be like crowns or whatever. But I'm hoping, he said maybe, because I would like to not wait, or I would like to not wait 3 to 4 months for that. Hopefully I can get a little flipper that comes in and out, something. But I don't really care. I'll rock no teeth as long as all the the cuts and the just like the open. I just don't want any infections, and I'd like to be able to eat some food. Right now, I'm just on the liquid diet, and
I'm gonna get you out my Kids Little Diamond stuff for the nutrients
oh
too.
yeah,
I'll send that today.
definitely. I've been blending up quite a few things. I made some soups last night, so I'm getting by. It's not too bad. It could be way worse, and honestly, I'll probably be riding here again in like the next week or so. I mean, not gonna go try and do anything crazy, but for my own sanity, just start rolling around. I pedaled a road bike around yesterday for a little bit, and I felt good, so back on
So
it.
that so that Florida comp is you're gonna for sure,
Yeah,
and that'll
yeah,
be
yeah. That'll be probably that's um about a month from, yeah, a little over a month from now, so I should be more than fine by then. But yeah, so if anybody who's watching this, I haven't seen my dad or grandpa in uh, almost 2 years, and they're in Daytona Beach. So all my Florida riders and surfers, I'll be out there for a month or two near Daytona, and then Swamp Fest, I'll be there. So it'd be cool to, get with some locals out there and kind of just change the scenery, change the pace for a little bit, and then the plan is to get back out here to San Diego. This is my home, so I've been here for 10 years now. So this is where I'll usually end up unless you convince me to get out to Austin or something, which
I
has
mean, I'm
always
not.
been on my list. I've always said I want to move to Austin at least for 6 months or something. So we'll see. It
Well,
makes sense.
I know you got I know you got an invite from one of your BMX boys out here that's got a little backyard park.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's I think that's a secret right now, but yeah, they're potentially will be out in Austin this year, so that'll be cool. I need to get out there anyways, between just to see you guys, but yeah, huge BMX scene in Austin, so that would be really fun to get out there.
I feel like we could chop it up forever because like you've become like one of my close homies, and like I said, I have so much respect for you. What is there anything else that we kind of haven't touched? I mean, I can't wait to sometime get into your motocross background. I
Yeah,
mean, obviously you shred on the mountain bike. You have such a crazy mindset. Your style. I can't wait to build Mended stuff around just like the stuff you've been sharing, just kind of creating some cool, unique pieces that really cater
yeah,
to that cool kind of flow you got with apparel and kind of how just the whole style. I like Mended to me is everyone becoming Mended within who they are, and so but for me
hmm,
is Mended's always going to be, it's going to have a core and it's going to have its core values, but it's going to be like a chameleon, right?
yeah,
Because if we're boys and we're making stuff, I'm all, dude, that flannel's dope. Why don't we just make that flannel?
yeah,
And let's so it's but is there anything that we didn't touch on or anything that you kind of wanted to? I know we kind of hit on a mix of stuff, and I think it's been so valuable, like mental
yeah,
health. I mean, the teeth, the surgeries, the GoFundMe's, the posts, the social, the love for the sport, the friendships, the family.
yeah. I think that was a great. I got a lot off my chest. I haven't done. This is the first podcast I've done in many years, so or interview or anything for that matter. So I think it was a good first one to kind of get some things off my chest. I was a little nervous, probably a little hard to hear me talk, but I'm just I've said it over and over, but I'm just really grateful for everything that's happening, and I appreciate all I have. It's been very clear to me in the last 6 months of just how many true like fans and family and just good people there are backing me, especially because like I'm not sponsored by anybody. I'm not out here representing anybody. I'm just doing this straight up for me, and I will keep doing that, and that's what I love. So it's just cool to see everybody backing me, and I am really grateful for all the homies, and stick with me because I think there's a lot of, or I don't think, I know there's a lot of really good things coming in this year, and I'm just excited for people to see that and to work with others as well and some companies and continue working with you and the team at Mended. And right now that's what I'm focused on. Staying
Heck
healthy,
yeah.
trying not to hit my face.
Dude, hey, don't mess that grill, dude. Because I mean, if the
Yeah,
BMX doesn't work, I could probably get you some modeling gigs.
I'm interested. I was thinking this is actually maybe I shouldn't get them fixed before Swamp Fest. I will fit in really good down there in Florida.
You kind of said it. I was thinking it earlier, but the
And
fact that
like,
I mean,
yeah, that's an event where I'm sure there's a handful of teeth being lost. So I could just show up. ready, already prepared, and avoid that whole situation.
Hey, what if we could make like inexpensive mended grills that you take
Ooh, that
that
would
and
be
you give
sick.
away just to
Dude,
give away?
I'm sure people, there was a few teeth knocked out every year, so that might not be a
Oh my
bad
God.
idea.
Rest in peace to the greats, because I always think about, Ken Block.
Uh-huh.
I was grateful to be friends with what a legend, his family, everything about him. But his gold tooth he used to rock,
Oh yeah.
and it was
Oh,
so
I'm getting
sick.
one
And
100%. I
oh,
already thought about that. Adding to the Steves.
I saw Billie Eilish, and she's always got a stylish little vibe. I
Uh-huh.
saw on her talk show, and it looked like she had a gold something going in the back.
Oh yeah.
And I was just like, man, but like the whole thing is like the gold is like you think the gold is more expensive, but
Uh-huh.
the dentures or the certain teeth are way more expensive. But the gold
Uh-huh.
is such a tribute to persevering and climbing, whether it's from nothing or whatever, and pushing through things. And I think when I think of Ken Block and how much he inspired and continues to inspire and will always, leave his mark, is you should rock the gold tooth because man, you're an inspiration, and I think
Dude.
it's such a rad raw testament. But if you came into that thing and we came up with some sort of flow for the swamp, side of it, dude, I'd be so crazy.
Yeah, I'm down. I'll be there. So maybe that is something we should talk about. It'd be cool to get some gear out there. I don't know how that works with Trey and his whole setup and sponsors, but at the very least, he'll be out there repping, and I'm excited to see everybody. It's going to be a great connection, great just time to see a bunch of people I haven't seen in years. Because really, this is like I'm just kind of breaking back into the scene, so it's just going to be good. I'm so excited. It's the first event for me in years. I don't even know the last time I've been to a BMX event, so I'm super excited for that.
Well, since this is the first pod of Time to Breathe, it feels only natural to kind of have to ask, like, when you think of time to breathe, what kind of triggers in your head
Time to
about
breathe.
life?
I would just say stop. Sometimes just stop moving, stop thinking, and just that's one of my biggest things is just getting so in my head and so overwhelmed. Yeah, I think just stop and take time to breathe. That's what we need. A lot. If everyone could do that, we'd be a lot more peaceful, and I think conversations would flow better, you know.
Heck yeah. No, that was dope. Well, man, let's keep this momentum going. I love you, brother, and man, I can't wait to go through the process and see what ends up happening with that grill. But appreciate you. This is awesome. And by the way, this is like my I think maybe third total or maybe fourth podcast I've ever jumped on.
Cool.
But couldn't have done it with a better guy. Back you, love you, and let's crush this thing. And just know I'm in your corner. And I know there's a lot of people that believe in you. And let's get this.
Right on. I love you too, brother. Thank you so much, and thank you for all the help you've been giving me over the last couple months. It's been means a lot more than you probably realize, and I'm just so excited for the future. So thank you.
Insane.
I'll talk to you in a bit, brother.
We about to rewrite the family history. We going up like the Statue of Liberty.